उधर श्रीलंका में जो स्थिति है वो दिन ब दिन खराब होती जा रही है। वहां पर आर्थिक संकट जो है वो पैदा हो गया है। इसको लेकर राष्ट्रपति के घर के बाहर हिंसक प्रदर्शन लोगों ने किया। पुलिस और प्रदर्शनकारियों के बीच झड़प भी हुई। प्रदर्शनकारियों ने पुलिस की गाड़ी में आग लगाई और लोगों ने राष्ट्रपति के खिलाफ गो होम के नारे लगाए। दरअसल खाने पीने और ज़रूरी सामान की यहाँ पर भारी किल्लत हो गई है, जिससे लोग खासे नाराज़ हैं। लाखों लोगों का पलायन हुआ है। अस्पताल की सेवाएं तकरीबन ठप हो गई हैं। लंबे समय से बिजली और तेल की किल्लत हो रही है। बिजली की कटौती इसलिए बढ़ा दी गई है क्योंकि बिजली पैदा करने के लिए संसाधनों की कमी वहाँ पर हो रही है। लगातार बढ़ती जा रही आर्थिक तंगी से लोग वहाँ पर काफ़ी परेशान हो गए हैं और उनका गुस्सा यहाँ पर जो है वो फूटता हुआ दिखा।
NDTV is back on the site, the scene of crime. What you're witnessing here right behind me is a trail of destruction that's left by the mob who had gathered here late last night, who tried to make their way through this particular stretch of road leading to the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's residence. So today we are looking at this morning, we're looking at a flurry of ministers, politicians making their way to his house and also inquiring in terms of, as far as the deployment of the police and the special task force is concerned. And this is the kind of destruction that we are looking at and reporting from on ground, very close to the President's house. We did of course see the Prime Minister as well making his way to his house to inquire and also to discuss about the next course of action. But what we do know at the moment is the police confirming to us that at least about 45 persons where they have been taken into custody. Amongst the 45 persons, individuals, at least one is a woman, is what we are understanding. Just late last night was the police had declared curfew in certain areas, certain pockets, sensing a very troubled situation, but they had already lifted the curfew just early this morning around 5 a.m. So it's a very tense atmosphere right in this particular stretch of road and just a few meters away from me. And if I could also bring you some visuals right here. There are officers from the Criminal Records Bureau, the Fingerprint Bureau, where they have arrived here to this very spot, the crime scene, to collect the evidence. And what we did, of course, witness just late last night was where a mob that had gathered at least about 1,000 to 1,500 clearly swelled to over 5,000, and the number of people who had gathered had outnumbered the police officials and also the kind of deployment that they had on ground. It was, it clearly the entire situation went out of control, and the police did, after speaking to the DIG, what we do understand is that they were waiting for the crowd to disperse. And one of the measures that they did, of course, bring in was to quell the crowd was use the water jets, the water cannons, and also we did see where shelling of tear gas was being carried out right here at this very spot. So now we see the entire place has been barricaded so that, to ensure not really there's any entry to other people. But we see there are several officials visiting the residence of the President. And also one of the major demands of just late last night's arson, the protest that led to, was where the question coming in from the common man saying that, when the President's house and the surrounding areas, they are having, there are absolutely no power cuts, but it's the common man who's facing the real crisis. So that was one of the major, in fact, as far as the entire protest, the reason why they had arrived here, but also the President's media division confirming, saying that an extremist group is also behind, apart from a number of common man being involved in the protest, an extremist group is also being involved in this, who had orchestrated this particular incident. In Colombo, with camera person Govind Murthy, Shrija for NDTV.
देखा किस तरीके की स्थिति जो है वहां पर बनी हुई है। हमारी सहयोगी शीजा की एक और रिपोर्ट आपको हम दिखाते हैं। जब बीती रात प्रदर्शनकारी राष्ट्रपति भवन के बाहर जुटे तो उस वक्त वहां पर क्या हालात थे, ये इस रिपोर्ट में आप देखिए।
What is the situation right now outside the President's house?
Oh, it's
Because
okay,
they're
it's okay.
already trying to storm through the
Yeah,
barricades.
some people, some little people.
Senior officer telling us that the situation right now, he's of course, though the kind of number that we are looking at, in fact, swelling over 5,000. The officer is confirming that they are able to manage the crowd, but remember the cops. They don't clearly, in fact, they don't really have much in strength. The mob that you see right here outnumbers the cops that have assembled right here. You have a fire and rescue team who have come. The reason is because what we understand onto my right that we can show you visuals right here is the bus, the police van that's been set on fire. Now that is the situation at the moment that we're looking at. Of course, right now the fire rescue vehicle is trying to make its way through the particular crowd. The huge mob that's gathered over here. The mob right now is sending the fire and rescue vehicle. They're just asking them to exit from here, exit from this particular stretch of road. Of course, the situation is very tense at the moment, and though the senior officer is told that he's got the situation under control, that's not something that we're looking at the moment. With camera person Govind Murthy, Shrija for NDTV.